It's DT Daily. Hello everyone, welcome. Thanks for tuning in today. However you're watching, we really do appreciate it. We are live on Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, and YouTube right now, here every day, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, to bring you all the latest tech headlines and some great interviews, some product reviews. We've got a lot on tap today, so let's kind of walk through what it is. I'm Greg Nibbler, by the way. I'm your host today, and we're going to be talking to Felicia Miranda and Brenda Stolier in New York in just a little bit. We've got a New York studio we'll go to. We're going to be talking about Fallout 76, a game I want very badly, but again, would take up all of my time and I would never sleep again. They're going to talk about it though, so it's coming out today. So they're going to give us the rundown on Fallout 76, some tips, some different things that you can do with that. We've got Ryan Juanita hopping in to talk about the new Dolby Dimension headphones, these Bluetooth amazing headphones that Dolby just released. Actually, the embargo just lifted today to talk about them. So he's going to have those here in studio to kind of give us the rundown on those. And we're going to be talking to singer Rossella, who's going to talk about what it's like working with Dr. Dre and Kelly Rowland. She's got a new album out, like amazingly talented. She's going to be joining the show as well. But first here in studio, we are with Marie. Hello, Marie.
Hi, Greg.
How's it going?
It's going all right.
Excellent.
How are you?
Doing well. We're going to talk about some tech headlines. We're going to do some read 'em and weep here in a minute.
My favorite.
But the first thing I think we need to get to is this big tech headline of the day. And I have a question for everybody who's watching right now. And the question is this: would you want to ride in a driverless car? Do you want to do it? Would you want to be the one of the people, like not somebody sitting at the wheel for an emergency, a completely driverless vehicle service? Because that sounds like what we're going to be getting from Waymo very shortly. Waymo has announced, it was yesterday in a conference, that, I mean, we knew they've been working on this for a while. We knew they've been testing out driverless car services. There's a lot of companies doing it. Tesla's doing it. I think VW is doing it. Lots of different companies are working on this. But Waymo appears to be the first one that's going to bring it to market.
Yes.
A commercial driverless car fleet that's going to be, I believe, debuting in the Phoenix area to start off with, and then it'll slowly expand as it goes out, expanding to different markets as it goes through it. But they're talking about by the end of this year, they're going to have driverless vehicles available.
Would you drive one? Or ride in one, I guess?
I would say normally I'm against, letting the being the leader in that, where the robots are going to drive me around. But yeah, I would totally do it. I would absolutely do it.
I would.
Yeah, as long as there's like some kind of an emergency brake I could tap, although maybe there's not in this. I'm sure there's some kind of service in there, but yeah, I think I would.
I would. I think it's going to be a weird transition because sitting in the driver's seat especially, if you are, I don't know where you're going to be positioned at.
Right, and they haven't shown what the cars actually look like yet. I believe it's a Chrysler car that we're going to be that they're going to be using. But yeah,
I think you're going to get that knee-jerk reaction of like when you're teaching somebody how to drive, and when they don't stop, and you're like, please.
Like when you're in driver's ed and like somebody's just pumping the brake.
Yeah,
the instinctive pumping the brake on it. Yeah, that's true. I'm probably going to be nervous about that.
Yeah, and then I'll get into an actual car, and my reflexes will be way off, or
I'll
just be like, oh no, it'll stop, and just rear-end somebody.
Yeah, it just keeps on going. Taking a look here at the comments as they're coming through, because this is something, and I'm going to give you some more details about this, about the Waymo thing. Let's see, Keelan says, I love driverless cars. The trick is getting all the stupid humans off the road. That's true. Edward says, I can't stand driving myself. So that is, yeah, I can understand that. Like, I do think about that sometimes, about how nice it would be not to have to worry about it. Just to have that taken care of in the commute. But this is something, that we are going to see. So a few more details on it. So Phoenix is going to be the first area, and they have been testing this for quite a while. We've known they have this thing called the Early Rider Program, and they've been, doing their different test runs. Oh, by the way, it's Chrysler Pacifica minivans are the ones that are probably going to be the vehicle, at least to start off with, although they're working on deals with other companies as well. So you'll have that out there. It's they're thinking maybe by the end of this year, again, launching in Phoenix at first and then going out. It's going to have an all-new name, so it's going to compete against Lyft and Uber. We don't know what the name is. They're being very secretive about it.
Yeah.
So
as Google does.
Right. Yeah, and that's pretty good of them, actually, that they've still been able to keep it secret. I bet it's going to leak out at some point if they're not going to call it Waymo, or it's going to be like Waymo Driverless. I don't know what they would.
If their Pixel launch was any indication, I'm sure we'll have a car out on the street before anybody knows it.
Yeah, I mean, so we've got that. So the Waymo Driverless program. But yeah, I think it's a really fascinating thing. I feel like it's coming way sooner than a lot of us thought it would.
Yeah.
I mean, we know everybody's been testing it, but the fact that this is going to be out, that you will be able to do this. And so that was kind of my question. I was just curious, what people think if you want to ride in it and if you would be willing to do it.
For sure.
So, and you would do it.
I'm very excited about it.
You would do it. You would ride in it. You would be one of the first ones to go on this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Would you also ride in a, okay, taking a look at some of the other comments, we'll get to those too. Would you ride in a driverless, like an autonomous air taxi?
I knew this was coming.
I know.
I don't know.
It's always my question. It's my test.
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Driverless cars have been tested out at least for a while.
Right. We have tests on
Maybe
those.
not on the same scale that Waymo is about to do.
Yeah.
But I know enough about it to be comfortable saying, yeah. Especially if we get in a wreck, I'm only a couple feet from the ground.
Right. Yeah. You're not having to bail out with a parachute. Although
Yeah.
probably
I'll have
it's
to
too late for that.
I'll have to see how the test runs go with the taxis.
Okay.
But I might. Who knows?
Speculation on the names. Edward says G Drive. Yeah. Although they've already got Google Drive.
Yeah.
So maybe not. If you have a good name for it, I definitely want to hear it.
Buy the domain now before Google gets it.
Yes. Yeah, snap it up. Oh, that's a really good idea. Okay, now I need to think about this myself. All right, I'm not going to say any more names here on the show. All right, let's go ahead because we've got some other tech headlines we want to get to as well, but it's time for our Read 'em and Weep segment where we take a look at all of the comments that have come through over the last couple of days, and we pick out a few of them to talk about, to read here on the show, because yes, we do read the comments here at Digital Trends. And so let's go to our first one here, and I have not seen these yet myself. So this comes from Owen regarding the 2018 iPad Pro review. The reviewer called it a laptop, LOL. Oh yeah, that's true. But you know what? I can totally understand that mistake.
It's
It
a
feels
fine
like a
line
laptop.
at this point.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going for. That's exactly the point. That's what they want, is a laptop replacement.
Right, because I mean, all you have to do is put a Bluetooth keyboard on there, and boom, it's pretty much a laptop. It's almost more powerful than some of the iMacs and some of the tests.
I guess we have to think about what defines a laptop, because it sits on the top of your lap now.
Ooh, yeah, you're thinking big picture here. We've got to redefine it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting
Okay,
really
we're getting
technical
deep
here.
We're getting real deep here. All right, well, Owen, totally understand that, but yeah, it is kind of a laptop. Before we get to the next comment here, just taking a look, another idea for a possible name for the Waymo driverless car, Robo Roller.
I like it.
Robo Roller, yeah, it sounds fun. It sounds like it also could be something in RoboCop, where it's gonna like turn against me. I don't know why. I don't know if I trust it. I don't know if I'd trust a Robo Roller.
Robo Roller. It sounds like it reminds me of that Beyblades game that used to be around.
You lost me. I don't know what that is. What's Beyblades?
It's this like little tops that would spin and they'd fight each other.
Oh, you mean the little robot like fighters?
Kind of.
Okay.
We'll have to look it up.
That's a technical term, by the way, the little robot fighters.
Robot fighters.
Wish I'd never said that. All right, so let's continue on with our Read 'em and Weep segment. We've got Mark Watlafon, who, regarding the autonomous cars, could be the new red light district. And that was a story we were talking about yesterday about where the future of autonomous cars are going and some of the speculation. There's a report out talking about how it could completely change up so many different industries, whether it's travel, hotels, but also the idea that they could be roving, brothels, essentially. I mean, it's an autonomous brothel. So inquiring minds want to know who's going to change. Oh, wow. Okay. I guess I have to read them. Inquiring minds want to know who's going to change the sheets. They'll have a continuous sheet on a roller like the old style cloth hand towels. When the roll runs out, the vehicle drives to maids on wheels. I mean, it's something they're actually going to have to think.
They will. Maybe it'll be like the automatic dispensers on the toilet seats that you see where the plastic just kind of like goes around. And
yeah. I'm thinking more like a dishwasher kind of situation where it's just like instantly sanitized.
I mean, I would like it to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily what we're going to get.
We'll have to see. You know what, Mark? When you try it out, you let us know how it looks. All right, let's go on to the next one. We've got some, Jeff D. regarding the 2018 iPad Pro review. If Apple wasn't so stubborn and made an OS that mixed iOS and Mac OS, they would sell a lot more of these. It's not like it doesn't have the power. I'm not entirely sure. Aren't they working on something like that, putting more iOS apps on there?
They are. They just rebranded a lot of their stuff, getting rid of the they just rebranded Apple News, I know, and a few
Yes.
other things. I think they are trying to work on a hybridized approach.
Trying to slowly work that in.
Don't know if they will actually ever go full combination, because what would be the point for them? They have a full functioning operating system right now that competes with Linux and Windows.
Yeah.
Why make it
Why bridge that gap between the two? Well, I mean, I guess I could see it as bridging the gap just so that you could cross over between your different, between your phone and your computer a lot easier, kind of what some of the different Google devices are doing. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, who knows what Apple's going to
Well,
do.
Jeff, very good point. All right, let's continue on with our Read 'em and Weep segment. Let's see, Dave P. says, regarding @digital trends, here's how to install Windows on a Chromebook. A better article would be explaining why you'd want to do such a dumb thing. Dave, I appreciate your surliness in that comment and the fact that you took the time to write that out to make fun of anybody who was going there to take a look at that article. Maybe somebody has a reason for installing Windows on a Chromebook, but Dave is there to tell you that's dumb.
It is.
It's dumb. Is it dumb?
No.
You're in IT. Is that a dumb idea?
No, I mean, I can definitely see why some people would
Yeah.
for testing, just to even see if it works, what kind of compatibility.
That's just to see if you can do it. Isn't that half the fun?
I feel like that's how we got where we are now.
Right.
It's just, let's see if it works.
They're innovators. But would you ever actually do it?
Probably not. No.
Yeah, okay. So that's kind of what I wanted to get to. So Maria agrees with Dave. All right.
No, you're not dumb.
All right, let's go on to the next one. We've got Super Galaxy Girl. Nice name. Again, regarding the 2018 iPad Pro review, everybody is really into the iPad Pro review. Although Super Galaxy Girl says, dude, I almost falled asleep watching this. I'm not sure whether that you were actually physically falling or how that works, but I almost falled asleep watching this. Why? But you kept watching it. Super Galaxy Girl, you clicked on 2018 iPad Pro review, you knew what you were going to get. You're going to get an iPad Pro review. I mean, maybe we need to put more explosions or some bells and whistles in them.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, she was obviously awake enough to write the comment.
So it didn't actually, well, she says almost.
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 Almost falled.
Almost falled.
It looks like her finger fell a few more times on that L key, though.
It's entirely possible. Yeah. Yeah, there is. There's an extra L in there. Sorry. Super Galaxy Girl, your comment is invalid. All right. I believe we have one more on here. We've got Joshua Hansen regarding what to expect from Best Buy's Black Friday deals. And we do have a lot of articles up at Digital Trends right now talking about Black Friday deals and Cyber Monday deals. Joshua says, I'm ready to fight a grandma and teenagers to hunt down that single 1080 Ti still hiding on a shelf in Best Buy. Everybody still wants the 1080 Ti. Yeah. Joshua, you're willing to... I don't know how many grandmas are going to be going after not that I'm judging, but I don't, the typical grandma, I don't picture going after a 1080 Ti, but I could be wrong. Again, not judging, but I don't know if you're going to have to fight too many of them. Teenagers, definitely.
Teenagers? Yeah.
Yeah, you will definitely have to fight some teenagers.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Is there anything you would go out for Best Buy for? Like go out actually physically shopping in a store for?
So I have actually never Black Friday shopped.
What? Oh, you should have to do it.
What I do want to do is I want to go and just like get some snacks, sip some coffee, and just park myself and watch other people
the
shop.
chaos unfold.
But I don't want to be in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I really don't. I'm a small person. It doesn't work out.
But see, that could help you though, because you're small. You can like zig and zag, through
Maneuverability.
everything. Yeah, and they won't even see you coming. And then boom, you've got the 1080 Ti.
There we go.
Yeah. So I think that.
Fight me, Josh.
Yeah, Josh, fight Marie.
Guess I'm not a teenager though, so.
Oh, that's true.
I get a pass.
You'll dance around him. You'll make it through that. All right. Let's get to some. Oh, we do have one more. So Michael Sprague says regarding Twitter boss hints at edit button for tweets, and that is absolutely something we've been wanting for a long time. Only people that don't want this are the grammar and spelling police because it gets them off, so to speak. Yeah, just the people that just sit there and wait for somebody to spell something wrong. I do know what you're talking about. I see it on Facebook a lot.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that'll bother me. T-O or T-O-O. That will bother me.
It will.
That one will get to me.
I also.
Close and close, closer like that. That will bother me.
Falled.
Yeah, falled bothers me with 3 L's. But yeah, damn it. Am I a grammar? Am I part of the grammar police? I didn't even realize
You
this.
are.
No, I'm just admitting this.
In an editorial department.
I know that's true. Maybe I am the one. Dang it. All right, Michael.
I just don't want to like a tweet and then have them change it to something completely else, like something completely different.
Oh,
later
have them
on.
auto-correct it?
And then now I'm like, oh, did not actually like that.
Yeah, that's something different. All right. Well, okay, so let's continue on here talking about some tech headlines. So that was our Read 'em and Weep segment. You can check that all out. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we're going to be hopping over to New York with Brenda and Felicia to talk about Fallout 76, a game I really, really want to play. And then we're going to have Ryan Juanita in here in a bit to talk about the Dolby Dimension headphones and singer Rossella joining us. But with our tech headlines, we have a couple more. This was a trending story today. I'll just kind of briefly talk about it because I'm curious if people are really interested in this. Talks about the Apple Watch for smartwatch users. Are you a smartwatch user?
I am. Today's probably the one day.
The one day you don't have it, which is perfect because we have that topic right now.
Yes.
Well, this is for, do you have an Apple Watch?
I have a Huawei.
Huawei, okay. Well, the Apple Watch is now going to be able to play Spotify. Spotify has been developed for the Apple Watch. The app is now available on there. Previously, you had to go through a third party to get it, which does seem kind of strange just in this day and age that you can't get Spotify on something. But their biggest competitor is Apple Music. So the fact that it's being put on there is, I guess, it's a pretty big deal.
It is. It's a huge step for Apple. And it's... Can you play Apple Music through an Apple Watch now? Does anybody know?
Yes, you can.
You can?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can play.
So it's not, they're not, it would be, I'd be very surprised if they put Spotify functionality on there before Apple Music. But since they didn't, never mind.
Right. Yeah, so Spotify, but Spotify now being on there, which, you know, one of the biggest competitors for that. Mm-hmm. Well, we've got it. You can, if you have an Apple Watch, you can now use it on there. So we've got an article at Digital Trends where you can do that. Keelan says, I'm completely lost on how Apple just started making digital swatches and everyone went nuts for them. Yeah. Swatches were cool though, dude.
I do like
swatches
my watch
were awesome.
A lot. I do.
You do like yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you use it for the most? Playing music or is it answering phone calls?
It's kind of subtly looking at messages and then swiping them away when I don't want to answer
It's
them.
just so you don't have to pull out the phone, you can just do this?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really, you're using it as a phone.
It's a notification device.
Yeah.
But I like it.
I do kind of want one. I'm interested. I've never actually had one. Now I do kind of want to get one. So there we go. So you can now play Spotify on the Apple Watch. All right. We also have a couple of other stories here to get to just before we head over to New York. We've been testing this out in here, so I'll just talk about this one, and this is actually a trending story. Alexa, as we know, is being incorporated into more and more different devices to what you can use like at your house. We talk about smart homes all the time. Well, now you have a smart microwave. So it's an Alexa-enabled microwave that is available, and you can, we've had one here in the office we've been testing out. Our review just went up at digitaltrends.com. There it is in the kitchen. Yep, at the DT kitchen, where you can test this out. So you've tried it. How exactly does it work?
So I haven't actually personally tried it. I've watched other people.
But you've watched other people.
And it's been about as entertaining as I think Black Friday observation would be.
So it's just people yelling at, Alexa,
yes.
heat up my sandwich or something. Yeah. That's
exactly
how I imagine
like
it.
that.
Alexa.
It's...
Make some mac and cheese.
I guess the question for me is, when's the last time you bought a microwave?
Actually, I bought one probably 3 or 4 months ago.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, just a cheap one for an office space.
Okay. Because I'm just not sure what kind of market there is for an Alexa microwave, because it has buttons on it too. So you can just bypass Alexa completely.
But who wants to press a button when you can just yell at a machine to do it? I mean, that's clearly what it is.
True.
Alexa, make me popcorn.
But you have to put the popcorn in the microwave.
Ah, see, this is where we need the robot. Like once we get the household robots, then maybe I'm definitely into it.
You sit there and be like, tea, Earl Grey.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Come on, robot. But this is out right now. You can pick it up. You do have to have an actual Echo device, and it does have to actually hook up to it, so that way you can utilize it. But apparently some people here in the office, and you can check out, again, this review at digitaltrends.com, where Kim has been testing it out and watching other people test it out.
And be careful, because if you have more than 2 or more than one Alexa device in the same proximity, one will turn on the microwave, the other one will get confused, and so they'll both start.
And they start fighting, so it's an Alexa
So we had
fight.
to turn, actually, we have 2 in our kitchen. We had to turn one of them off while we're testing out the other one.
Interesting. Man, now, see, that you're right. This is kind of my Black Friday watching. I just want to sit in there and watch
Just watch people yell at it.
Yeah, watch people yell at it. Yeah. Or maybe turn Alexa off so they don't know, and then see what happens. Kendra says, this seems silly and useless. Talking about Talking about the Alexa-enabled microwave. I'm curious if people are going to end up picking that up. The last thing I wanted to bring up, let's see, we'll skip. There's some very interesting stories that are out there right now, but this one has to do with hackers because we're going to be talking about video games in a second. So Steam, Valve, which if you do any kind of online gaming, you've probably gone through Steam in some amount of way. If you didn't know, they offer a lot of money if you can expose flaws in their system. And there is one guy in particular who has racked up some pretty good money, and his name's Artem Moskowski, and he has been finding bugs on the different system and making money. And this latest one they just found awarded him 20 grand by discovering an exploit in Valve that would allow you to generate limitless key codes for any game you want, as many as you wanted.
That's pretty awesome.
And yeah, he said he was on the API, like the developer side, which you can get into, and he figured it out. All he had to do was just change a couple of things, and he's like, boom, I can generate however many keys I want. And if you sell those, it's worth a lot of money.
It is. It definitely is.
They could lose millions of dollars on that.
Yeah, and I use Steam a lot, and so the prospect of getting to combine something that I'm on every day and love, with making it a full-time. I mean, that's $20,000 for each
flaw, basically. Yeah.
I mean, that's a full-time job almost.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's a pretty good deal. Now I want to see if I can figure out any flaws in it.
You should try.
Like, pay me.
Start putting in random keys.
Yeah. Like, I'll just constantly send them. Is this a flaw? No.
It's a bug, not a feature.
Okay. All right. Well, either way, I'm going to have to try it out. All right. It is time. Coming up here in a little bit, like I said, Brian Juanita going to be joining us talking about the Dolby Dimension headphones, singer Rossella. But now it is time for us to head to our New York studio, where Brenda and Felicia are standing by to talk about Fallout 76, the amazing game. I believe it's out today. They're going to run through everything that's going on with it. So let's head over there now. Hello, New York.
I'm Felicia Miranda, and I'm the gaming section editor at Digital Trends, and I'm here with Brenda, staff writer for mobile.
Hello.
Today is the official launch day for Fallout 76. You can get it on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and we're going to be giving you some tips and tricks to survive the nuclear wasteland. But before we get into that, there might be some of you who are unfamiliar with Fallout 76, so we're going to go through a few facts, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in the comments.
Yeah, feel free to ask any questions because I'm very unfamiliar with Fallout. I'm just jumping on to help Felicia, but no question is a stupid question, so ask them all. I'll read them out. I won't laugh at any of them. So any question is fair game.
Good. Yeah. So the Fallout series takes place in like a post-apocalyptic nuclear war setting. It's an RPG set during the 22nd and 23rd centuries. A lot of it is inspired by post-war culture in 1950s America. So when you see a lot of the art and just the design of the game, it has that retro feel to it. Fallout 76 is a little bit different because it's online and you can play with friends. So you can actually join with up to 4 other players and jump into the wasteland and build camps together, take on raids together, a whole bunch of cool, awesome stuff. So the story goes that Vault 76 was a test vault, and by design, the inhabitants in that vault were to re-enter the world and be kind of like test subjects to this nuclear wasteland. It's a first-person shooter just like the past entries, but this time you'll be exploring West Virginia, and you can play solo, but it's not really built that way. You might have a hard time surviving if you go in by yourself. So we're going to get on to some tips so you guys can survive.
Quick question, though.
Yeah.
That I have personally. What makes this one different than the other versions?
So Fallout 76, well, let me start. Past iterations were first-person shooters, but they were single-player experiences.
Okay.
Fallout 76 is a completely online experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And there's a few other things.
Yeah. Cool.
That's
okay,
the biggest
go ahead.
difference. All right. So when you first arrive into the nuclear wasteland, you're going to want to team up. I kind of touched on this earlier, but it's going to be hard to survive solo. You can try it, and, you know, you might do a great job, but for most other players jumping into this world, you're going to want to increase your chances of survival by teaming up with some friends or even strangers you meet in the wasteland. This will also help you save on fast travel. Fast traveling to different locations on the map actually costs caps, and these are kind of a rare commodity in the new game. So you want to save on those by being able to fast travel to your friends. You also want to loot everything. I mean, you might have done this in the last few games, but it's really important in this one. You're going to need all those resources to build camps and weapons and armor and all that fun stuff. This also leads to kind of a common problem in these games, and that's being over-encumbered. So use stash boxes often. Don't try to carry everything with you because you're going to end up waddling everywhere and you might get ambushed and killed. As for weapons, the biggest tip I can give to players is to always carry a melee weapon. Guns are great, but they can run out of ammo. They can also break in Fallout 76. So always keep a melee weapon handy. That way, if it breaks, then you're not screwed. Or having a punch-off with a mole rat. And lastly, this might seem kind of trivial, but it's going to be super useful to you, and that's to build an actual bed. Not a mattress on the floor, not a sleeping bag, an actual bed. And that's because beds help prevent contracting diseases, and they also regenerate HP and can give you a pretty sweet rested perk. So, with all that in mind, let's take a look at the Fallout 76 live action trailer. Okay.
So we do have one question.
Okay, awesome.
From Greg, actually. Can you play in solo mode? He says, I'm pretty terrible at online modes and usually just get killed by other players who then mock me.
There is no solo mode yet. What it is that you're going to jump into a server with a bunch of people. It's up to you if you want to play alone or if you want to team up with other people. You're never forced to play with other players. If you come across someone else, you can actually engage in PvP, which is player versus player combat. The only thing about that is that if you kill somebody or if someone kills you, you'll get a bounty on your head, which means everyone in the server is probably going to want to come for you because you're going to get a reward for taking down that person.
This seems like a very intense game.
It is pretty intense.
Let's see, if anybody has any more questions, feel free to comment. Let's see, we have another comment that I think it's from Kylene. I might be pronouncing that wrong, I probably am. I think the point of Fallout 76 is that it is the online version. Fallout 4 is basically a solo mode.
Exactly, it's a one-player, single-player experience. And, you know, I think I remember reading somewhere, check me if I'm wrong, and that's that Fallout 76 is going to get private servers later on, so people can build basically form their own server, and you can kind of tune it to how you want to play. And if you're looking for more content regarding Fallout 76, make sure to check the Digital Trends gaming section. We're going to have guides galore on this game. We're going to be playing a lot of it, and you should expect a review soon as well, probably by the end of the week. Alright, I'm going to send it back to Portland now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Brenda, for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much back here in Portland, Oregon. And I still want to play it. Yes, my question is still valid. So I used to play online gaming. That sounds even lame when I'm saying it. I would go on there, and the problem is I would just get killed. I played Counter-Strike a lot, and then I'd just have these like little kids mocking me all day long. So that's why I stopped doing it, and that's why I fear online gaming. Solo mode's my way to go, but I'd probably still try it out. All right, I believe we're gonna go to a quick break here. So here's what's gonna happen. Coming up on DT Daily today, we're gonna be joined by singer Rossella here coming up in just a little bit to talk about her album. She worked with Dr. Dre and Kelly Rowland. We'll find out about that, talk about everything that she's got going on, and we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna be joined by Ryan Dubs Juanita, who's going to be talking about the new Dolby Dimension headphones. I just get now we've got to call him Dubs. We need to redo the headlines, the taglines for this. But he is going to be joining us here in just a minute to talk about that. So get your questions ready. These Bluetooth speakers are pretty amazing, and he's going to kind of run down everything that's going on with those. Back here in a minute with more DT Daily. Back here with more DT Daily. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I want to remind everybody, of course, we are live, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, and Facebook, which means we can take your questions. And we're going to be talking about the new Dolby Dimension Bluetooth headphones. I know lots of people have questions about Bluetooth headphones, so maybe we can get some answers to those because we're joined now by Ryan Juanita.
Yes.
Yes. The Dubs man, as I
Yeah, you call me Dubs, and I told you I'm going to call you Nibbler.
All right, fine. But this is my last name, so.
No, wait, Nibbles.
No,
Sorry,
see, you already.
Nibbles. That's
boom. I already won. I already won.
Little Nibbles.
All right, Ryan. Let's talk about what we have here.
Yeah. So these.
I know you're excited. So these just like there was an embargo on these.
Right. They just came out today, and there's a lot of interesting things about these headphones that make them unique. First of all, they're from Dolby, and they're Dolby's first product ever.
I didn't realize that Dolby had never actually made their own.
They
products.
are in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
They have audio and video technologies, some of the most cutting-edge technologies that exist right now as far as home theater and even professional use, but they have never been in a product that they created themselves, and this is their first product. And it's a very interesting pair of Bluetooth headphones, not quite like your regular pair of headphones.
Yeah.
They being from Dolby, they're made for home use first. And so they do some really interesting things for that. One thing is they have these sort of buttons on the side that quick change between different paired devices. So it allows you to pair up to 8 devices at a time, but then these can be your quick device. So it's meant to be used in the home mostly. Mm-hmm. It's even got this little charging case here, so you can just set it down. This little charging pad.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and it plugs in, but it's kind of convenient. And then you can say you've got your TV connected here, and then you get your phone here, and maybe your iPad here. You just hit the button, you're watching TV, and then maybe you want to check out a YouTube video, hit the second button. You can switch really quickly, and that's the idea.
I like that idea a lot because, you know, I mean, for any kind of Bluetooth device, that's always the pain. It's,
right, repairing.
You know, repairing, unpairing, hold down the Bluetooth button.
Preferences. Yeah,
it's a real pain.
They really went at it as like a solution to that idea, and it has a lot of other features, like a ton of features. They have virtualization, which allows it to read the source that's coming in. It's got a Snapdragon processor, so it's got a quick processing thing.
Yeah, that's a
It reads the sound
processor.
source and supposedly it adjusts the virtualization on the fly to give you sort of a virtual surround sound, and it works pretty well.
Wow.
Better than your normal stereo pair of headphones. It's not going to be like full-on surround, but it does give you a broader sound stage.
Have you tried it where it was doing that, or
yeah? I've watched Thor Ragnarok, and it's really fun. You get like sort of more movement.
You can hear the like whooshing around it,
and you get like
that's
some
cool
resonance. And the other thing about them that I think maybe the most notable thing. Well, there's two really notable things. One is they're $600.
Oh dang!
So they're super expensive. But the other
a lot.
The other is that they are perhaps the most comfortable headphones I've put on. In fact, that's what I said in the review, because I just don't remember a pair of headphones that's comfortable. So you can sit back and watch a movie and you just kind of don't realize that you're wearing headphones.
I mean, that's something for you especially, since I mean, this is a lot of what you do is reviewing headphones and different sound and audio.
Yeah, I've put on a lot of headphones, and there's a fair amount, but almost every headphone after about 3 hours starts getting you right here on the head.
Yep.
It starts hurting
there
on the top
or
of your head.
sore.
Yeah, or you get a little too
press,
tight on your ears. These really didn't do that for me the entire time I wore them. I wore them all day, and they didn't do that.
And this is, people are asking here, I just saw like somebody said Dolby makes stuff, which I know,
they
that's
do.
the same question I had. I
They
didn't
got a
even,
little Dolby symbol on the side here, if you can see.
yeah, so it's actually Dolby original headphones. They didn't go through somebody else to actually manufacture this stuff,
I mean, they may have had a different manufacturer, but it's their design. Yeah, just like Apple, they don't make their phones in their company headquarters. But so I'm not sure. I didn't get that deep into who makes them, but yeah, it's their design. Their straight up product. So, but yeah, a few other interesting things about them. One thing is they can go on the go because they have active noise canceling. So you do have noise canceling. It's not as good as top noise cancelers like the ones like the Sony 1000 MX line. That's one of our favorite headphones. In fact, I think it's our top headphone right now.
Yeah, I think we've got, if you're ever interested too, we've got lists at digitaltrends.com or on our YouTube page.
Absolutely.
That runs down.
Best headphones, best wireless headphones, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, these don't have that kind of noise canceling, but they do a really good job suppressing sort of like drone sounds, like plane, engines and stuff like that. But you'll hear like higher frequency stuff.
Annoying
like,
people on the bus.
You'll hear voices around you and stuff. So it's not like super noise canceling. But they also have a transparency mode, which we're seeing that a lot now with headphones, in which you can actually sort of hear the sounds around you, and it mixes it in with the music or the movie that you're watching.
Yeah.
It's a really nice transparency mode. It works quite well, and it goes all the way. There's an 11-point scale. It goes all the way down to.
So you can adjust it to however you want.
You can adjust it, and you can at 11. That's kind of their little Spinal Tap joke.
Right.
You can amplify sound, so it actually raises the level. And we've
Oh
seen
wait,
other
so you can
headphones.
listen into what other people are.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
gets even
that's
closer.
instantly what I
It's got a little microphone
well, I want to hear
array.
what that person's saying.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. So, we've seen that before, but this one works pretty well. Sometimes it sounds like really synthetic. This one works pretty well. And it does affect the sound, but it's nice to be able to, I guess I didn't mention also, there's touch controls on the side, so it's really nice. Not only can you switch different sources really quickly, but on the side here, you can just sort of double tap and get noise canceling, double tap again and get transparency. So it worked for me at home. I was at home watching Thor. My wife came in. She was coming home from work, and I had been working from home that day. Double tap on the side. Hey, how's it going? What's going on? Still watching the movies, but I can talk to her at the same time.
But you can hear everything she's saying.
And then a double tap back, and she's gone for the most part.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a fun. It's really nice to have the controls on the side. And then of course there's an app which allows you to get deeper into the controls. So.
And the charging station is just this. How long
Yeah,
is
it
the
plugs
battery
in,
life
but and that's another thing. Yeah, we wish they had more battery life. It's about 14 hours, so it's pretty good. But then some of those other ones you'll get about 30 hours, like Sony's latest 1000 MX3, I believe. I believe it gives you about 30 hours.
Now, price-wise, because I see this is definitely something people were saying. It looks like
expensive.
Dolby themselves are in here as well.
Yeah.
Talking about the price wise. Now, how does this compare with other headphones that are?
So I believe the Sonys you'll get for about $350.
Okay.
But these do some other things. Again, you get the virtualization.
Yeah, the virtualization. I like that idea.
You also get something called head tracking, which is really interesting.
How does that work?
What that does, and that's something we're seeing with other headphones. I know of another headphone company that's doing it for gaming specifically. But what it does is, especially the Dolby specifically, what it does is it allows you to watch a screen for about 3 seconds or so. It'll click on to where you're watching. So if you're watching over here, it'll click onto that. And then, say you're sitting here with your headphones on and you turn your head, the audio is virtualized to stay here. So
wait, so it even
so
feels
your
like
stereo sound, your stereo panel or whatever, your virtual surround panel is over here, say, and then you turn your head, it's still over here.
so it's like it'll lessen the volume in this side.
Yeah, I mean,
make it
I don't know
seem
if
like
it
you're
even
turning
lessens the
away
volume.
from
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I suppose it does. It's like
That's an interesting feature.
That's something we're starting to see more and more. One problem with the head tracking is it really kills battery life.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to do it on a plane, but you could do it. You could do it at home, and you've got your charger right there.
What are the advantages of that, of having?
Well, so the way Dolby described it, I don't know if I would really use it that much in my daily life. It is a really interesting.
It's a neat feature, but yeah.
But the way Dolby described it is because the virtualization is really good. So if you hear, like, say, a doorbell ring, and you're not sure if it's on the TV show or in your house, you could turn and hear it again. Oh, it is from over here. The doorbell's on the TV shows here or whatever. Or you hear somebody yelling, and you don't know if it's like I was watching an episode of The Office, and I definitely had a moment where I was like, wait, is that in my house or not?
Yeah.
Like it was an episode where the fire truck comes because Ryan burns his pita.
Yes, that's right.
Toaster oven. One of my favorites.
Good episode.
But yeah, and the fire truck comes in. It's you can really hear it. It feels sort of like surrounding you, and then there's like a radio going. And I was like, for a second there, I was wondering, is that radio happening in my house, or is somebody talking to me? But it was on the TV show. So there are applications for that, I suppose. I don't know if I'd be using it all the time.
Yeah.
It is an interesting feature.
That is, I mean, it sounds like a lot of the features definitely something, the switching between Bluetooth, that's the one I'm going to where I'm like, I'm automatically into that. Because
well, especially if you're a multiple screen user and you like to
multiple
watch
device,
TV.
multiple screens.
Yeah, of course you're going to have a TV with Bluetooth, or you're going to have to connect to a streaming device with Bluetooth. That's
I mean, more and more.
A lot of
buying
them do
something new. It's
most of
them
are going to have it.
Yeah, we'll have that kind of ability. On your laptop or your whatever else you're on.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, these are definitely interesting. I mean, the price is high.
The price is high. This is sort of for a niche user, somebody who's really got a way they want to hear their sound and a certain application.
Which makes sense. I mean, if it's a Dolby product, you're probably going to be a very big audiophile anyway.
Dolby products,
if you're going to be into this,
they're really, they really hit the home theater stuff. They really are for, generally for users that really care about their sound or really care about, their videos. So.
Cool.
Yeah. And they also look pretty cool.
They do look cool.
They're a cool design. It's very minimalist and sort of stealthy, so I like that too.
Well, and we've got you've got your full review.
Yeah, we got a full
review
review
up at Digital
on
Trends.
the site now.
Talking about that. So yeah, really awesome. I like I don't know why the charging station is pretty cool to me.
Yeah, the charging station is kind of nice, and it's just sort of a classy way to always keep them out as well. And they do have a case too. We wish it was a hard case, but they do.
I was gonna say that's something. If I'm gonna pay that much for headphones,
it'd be nice to have a hard case,
like a titanium case for it.
Well, but again, they're sort of like, hey, you can travel with them, but they don't fold up. They're not.
But you're not really
made
supposed
for
to.
travel. Well, you totally can, and
right.
I think it's more like for your daily commute, but you're probably not like. If you're Mr. Travel, I don't know if they're the right headphones for you. So.
Mr. Travel.
I'm Mr.
Look
Travel.
at Mr. Travel over there. All right. I want to see. Okay, cool. Well, so this entire review, like we said, up at digitaltrends.com. You can take a look at that. Dolby's first headphones, the Dolby Dimensions, and really cool.
Yeah.
Question: do you get to keep these?
I never know.
Dolby's in the chat right now.
I never know.
They're in the chat right now.
We'll find out.
Dolby, I could use a pair of these. All right, so anyway.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, look, hey, you got to try it.
This guy over here.
Can't hurt. All right, well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in to DT Daily. So what's going to happen next is we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be joined by singer Rossella to talk about her new album, talk about all the amazing people that she's worked with, what's going on in her life, and how she got started, maybe how she uses tech in her life. We've got all of that coming up, so you can drop in your comments and your questions since we are broadcasting live right now. Ryan, thanks so much for hopping in.
Thanks for
and
having
we'll be back in a minute with more DT Daily. with some more DT Daily. I think you can hear the music playing right now. That is Rossella, and we have her on the line right now to talk about her new album, some of the amazing people she's worked with, where she's at. I believe the new album just came out yesterday, but let's get her in here right now. Rossella, hello. Hi. Oh, I'm having trouble. Can we hear?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now. Okay.
Perfect.
Yes, good. It worked. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much for joining us today. Where are you at right now? Are you out on the road or promoting the album or at home?
I'm actually at home right now.
Nice.
Comfort at my own home. My daughter's sick, so.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I can talk quietly if that makes a difference.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's talk about your career and just, it's an incredible story, a lot of what happened, on your career and your rise to this, but maybe we'll start in the beginning. Did you know you wanted to be a singer growing up?
Absolutely.
You did?
I knew since I was 4. My whole family sings, so I was really inspired by my parents.
So you kind of raised up in it, so you knew this is what you wanted to do. Good for you for knowing that early. Well, let's talk about, going from, did you start off getting into the industry as writing or singing and writing? Like, how did that progression into actually the professional side of it work?
Man, it's such a crazy story. I actually started as a songwriter. So I was just randomly searching for people online to work with, and I met up with I emailed with my current manager right now. And that's how I met one of the workers there, DJ. So yeah, I started off as a songwriter first, and then I always was an artist myself, but I wanted to get into that field because I loved to songwrite.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's a really great, probably a good way to get into the industry, I would imagine.
Absolutely, yes.
And you've worked with some pretty amazing talent. I mean, just to name a couple, I saw Dr. Dre for one of them. Like, what's it like working with Dr. Dre? I mean, I have to ask.
Oh my God, it's surreal.
Yeah.
It's very surreal. I haven't worked with him for a while though, since probably June of this year.
Oh, that's not even that long ago though.
Yeah, that's a long time. But yeah, he's really nice. He's really down to earth and just like hella chill.
Really? I mean, I guess that's how I would. Oh yeah. I mean, I guess that's kind of how I would picture him as being chill. But then you never know, like what somebody's actually like when you actually meet them. Because you work with Dr. Dre. You've, I believe, written for Kelly Rowland. Is that right?
Yes.
So when you're writing for somebody else, like, what's that process like?
Man, honestly, I just try not to think, and I try to just feel. I have to feel what's in my gut, and whatever comes out of my gut, I just sing it. I record it. And that's why it's so important when people say, "Oh, I'm inspired to do something." I have to get my phone out and I need to record it. It's real. It's a real thing. Because once you think of it, once you feel it, and you put it out there, or if you don't put it out there, it's not gonna come back to you.
Right. Yeah. It could be gone, if you don't do something with it. Well, I mean, I think actually that just from a technical standpoint, that kind of plays into what we're talking about. So when you're out, like you're inspired by something, whatever it is, and you need to get that recorded, what kind of phone do you use to record it on? I
use an iPhone 7.
Okay.
Fortunately, my husband works at Sprint, and he gets me like all the deals.
Nice.
Yeah, and I usually use Pro Tools to record all my music, and that's basically it. So
you out there, you get this idea, you record down a sample of it, and take that over to Pro Tools, and then just start recording on there.
Yes.
Well,
very process.
Let's talk about this new album. So did you record this new album yourself? Let's talk about what you have coming out here.
Yes, I actually did record it myself.
Wow.
I learned how to engineer my own music like back in 2010. Somebody told me that Pro Tools was like the industry program to use for music. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, I'll try to learn it. So thank God I learned it, because now I know how to engineer my own music and like edit it and do all the things that I want to do with it, with my voice.
That's impressive. I mean, that's really kind of taking care of everything. If you can write, you can record, and you can actually do the engineering side of it. Like that's a well-rounded resume right there.
mean, you got to learn how to do everything if you want to get something done.
Right? Yeah, and especially if you want it done the way that you want it. And I know that we've got, a trailer I think that we want to play that's just kind of covering some of what we're talking about. So I'm not sure if the production staff, do we want to play that right now? We can go to that, and then we'll come back and talk some more with Racella.
Okay.
Los Angeles City Fire Department, give us a call back at 911.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Hey, call me back. I'm hella worried. I'm gonna call the ring. Please call me.
Wow, that's intense. And I know I read some of the history behind it, and I did just see that we have a question that just came through, so I wanted to get to that too, but maybe just to explain to everybody the inspiration for this album, Waves.
Okay, so I was inspired by my husband. 3 years ago, we got into a terrible car accident, and we had just gotten married like a month before he got into this accident.
Wow.
So it was just like my highest of highs to my lowest of lows. It was like waves, so that's why I named the album Waves, the EP Waves. Yeah, so he had like a 10% chance of living, and I just prayed. I asked everybody to pray. Community is a really big part of my life, so my community really helped me out, and that's the city of Delano. And yeah, like, it was such a miraculous thing to witness for my husband to just survive that type of accident. He had heart surgery, and he also had spine surgery. And yeah, nobody knew if he was going to make it, but I just stayed with him. And I was really adamant to stay with him in the hospital until he came home with me.
Wow.
So he did. And then I still remember writing that song, Can't Do This on My Own, at the edge of his bed. I was like, it was such a hard time for me. It was a very difficult time. It still boggles my mind how I got through that. I know it was the spirit of God for sure.
I mean, that's an incredible story. I can only imagine, the inspiration that you got out of that, and I'm so happy that obviously he made it through, which is wonderful. Yeah, 10% chance. That is absolutely horrifying for, I think, about any of us, for anything going through that. So I think it's really cool that you took that inspiration and what you went through and made this album, Waves. And so this album is out. Actually, I'll get this one question here, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about the album. So Tagavor on YouTube just says, are there any artists you wish to work with, and why?
Man, there's so many people I want to work with. Hiatus Coyote, Anderson .Paak. Although I did meet him, man, there's so many people.
That's a tough question, I'm sure. Yeah.
There's a list, a long list. So
there you go. There's a list. Tagavor. That's all you're getting on that one.
Yeah.
Well, so the album Waves, is that right that it just came out yesterday?
It came out on November 12th, my birthday.
November 12th, or 2 days ago. It's the 14th. Yeah. So just this week. So it's a huge week then for that. Where can people find the album?
So you can find it on iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, all digital platforms. It's also on SoundCloud. Yeah, you could also go to my Instagram, which is at Racella, Racella, and you can find all my links in the bio.
Fantastic. Well, Rossella, congratulations, on everything you've gone through, and now to get to this point and have this album out there. I wish you all the success. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. So you heard her. You can get it on all of those different platforms. Follow her on Instagram. Rossella, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. All right, well, there we go. That's Racella right here on DT Daily. And that's some of the fun things about this show is that we get to interview and talk to so many different people, like a wide range of people. We cover all kinds of different topics, and we're live every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, talking to you because we're live. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Periscope, we're live on Twitch, we're live on Facebook. And of course, this video lives on afterward, and you can always leave comments on there as well, and we'll take a look at them. Today, in the news, we covered that Waymo is going to have a driverless car service actually happening in the Phoenix area, probably by the end of this year. You're gonna be able to ride around in a driverless car and call it up as a service, kind of like Lyft or Uber, but there's nobody that's gonna be driving it. So we've got that's gonna be happening. And Marie, of course, joined us for the news there at the beginning. Then we talked to Felicia and Brenda talking about Fallout 76, that great game that is gonna be out, or I believe it's out today. So you can check out all of our reviews at digitaltrends.com when it comes to that. And then we had Ryan Juanita in here to talk about the Dolby Dimension Bluetooth headphones. They're spendy, but they're pretty amazing. You can check out that full review that just came out today. And of course, talking to Rossella, pick up her album everywhere albums are sold, and you can get that as well. And thanks everybody for joining us. Of course, follow and subscribe to Digital Trends wherever you find us. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you stay tuned. Coming up, all day long, we'll have coverage of everything that goes on in the world of tech. You can always get up-to-date news at digitaltrends.com, and you can join us here every day with our show. And I thank everybody for doing that. I'm Greg Nibbler, and we will talk to you tomorrow with more DT Daily.
Try to face my fears, 'cause I can't do this on my